Hello YouTube, this is Wolverine here. After doing a number of Rome 2 online commentaries with Comrade Drago on his channel and some multiplayer, I've decided to bring out some old footage from our Shogun 2 Total War days. Here you see me, Southern Wolverine, allied with Ferrofin, versus Bass Venderboss, 1989, and Comrade Drago himself. This is actually the first battle we played together. Now this is a mixed avatar battle. Myself and Bass Venderboss have the modern armies from Fall of the Samurai. Ferrofin and Drago both have classic Shogun 2 armies. And for most of the battle it's pretty much going to be a pair of one-on-ones with a little bit of excitement at the end as somebody tries to save their ally. I'm going to go through real quick what I've got. I've got 3 units of these Red Bear infantry. It's always good to have a few rookie units around to bulk up the numbers and take casualties. And then I've got a whole line of my veteran troops. The Stormtroopers, the Imperial Infantry, I thought that was fitting. The Always Faithful United States Marine Unit, the Acadian 54th Imperial Guard Infantry, and Morgan's Rifles, a unit of Tosa riflemen way out on my left flank. And my reserve consists of one of the Red Bear units and the Shadow Government, my Shinsengumi Police Force veterans. I also have John-san, my general, and he's a shooter general, and 4 units of 3 to 5 Chevron Yariki. My ally here, Ferrofin, has a force consisting of various Yari samurai and Naginata warrior monks. He's also got a unit of heavy gunners in here somewhere, there they are, and a unit of fire rockets, so a lot of points spent on those guys. He's also got a couple katana samurai, and you'll notice he does not have any cavalry aside from his general. He's facing off against Drago over here. Drago has a mixed line what looks like Yari Agasharo, and I think there's some Yari Samurai in here as well. And his front line is 3 units of Matchlock Samurai, Matchlock Agasharu, sorry. He's got a whole bunch of spear troops, you see, backed up by I believe 3 or 4 units of Nodachi Samurai. His general, and there's a unit of Tetsubo warrior monk heroes here. There's nothing scarier than a monk with a big stick. And my direct opponent, Bass Venderboss here, has I believe 2 units of these Bokachi, something like 4 units of Red Bears, a handful of Spear Levy, sorry, some of them are Yarikachi, and then I believe 3 or 4 units of these Katana Kachi. He's also got 2 units of Yari Ki, and he's going to use these cavalry running back and forth. Mostly he's going to use them to support Drago, who has very little cavalry of his own. So you see here I'm trying to take this morale shrine because I know that's going to give us a big boost. Particularly me, because I know these Shogun 2 armies fighting on the other side have a lot better morale than the Fall of the Samurai armies. So I want to get that and take control, so I'm going to try to push these guys off this ridge as we've basically taken residence on opposite ridges. Now you're going to get to see me make a bit of a mistake here with my Morgan's Rifles here. I'm going to come up trying to skirmish these guys and see if I can't get them to come off his ridge into the range of my other units. And it's sort of going to work. See, oh, here's some heavy gunners going off in the background there as this volley starts. Now, that hurt. That was the mistake I made. I didn't get them back fast enough, and I lost almost a quarter of this unit of rifles before I'm able to run them out of there. And real quick, since we hear the heavy guns going on the other side, let's pop over here. I see we got quite the firefight going between the heavy gunners and the Matchlock Agasharo with Drago. And this is going to go on for a while until Drago pushes up a mixed force of melee and spear troops to try and put an end to the skirmishing, which he's clearly losing at the moment. So now on this side, those units that shot up my riflemen are trying to follow them up, and you see they're going to run into a bit of a snag as the range of my units on the hill is right about there. So any second now, the Acadian 54th Guard Infantry and the U.S. Marines are going to open on them, and they're going to decide that's enough, and it's time to head back to the relative safety of friendly lines. So let's get an overview here. See, I've got this hill with some of my elite units. My general's back in there too to try and reinforce. I got 2 units of cavalry out to either flank. See them here. And the other units up in these trees over here. And I pushed some of my rookie units down into this valley to try and get a flank on.
The enemy has uncovered the hidden units.
Oh, this was a clever move here by Bender. Brought these archers up to shoot at my very expensive United States Marine unit. And he's doing some damage until these stormtroopers get up here, and you're going to see this Bokachi unit take damage very quickly under this kind of firepower. Of course, my Imperial infantry are also taking damage from those troops on the ridge, but I cannot let these Bokachi here drive me off my hill or destroy my Marine unit. So they're not going to be able to take this for much longer, especially with the Morgan's rifles joining into the action from the other direction. So there they go, they've had enough. They're shattered. They're basically destroyed anyway. Meanwhile, the cavalry tried to strike on these Bokachi on the flank and got driven off by the spears. So I don't want any part of that fight. So now we got a lot of little firefights going on here. Meanwhile, there's a protracted melee going on here. Bass Benderboss's cavalry came around and destroyed the fire rockets who'd come up here onto the flank. Total loss, fire rockets really didn't accomplish anything. And now Fairfin's clearly losing to Drago. But I'm very busily engaged in my own fight. Here, fortunately, the rifles were able to drive off these Yarikachi, and my cavalry are going to come back to get another smack on them and try to take out these Bokachi. They do have to watch out for these spear levies on the hill as my main infantry line pushes forward. You see I withdrew the stormtroopers. They'd taken too much damage. I didn't want to risk them routing. So now the Shadow Government and this rookie Red Bear are working over these infantry. And these Yarikachi were trying to come out and catch my cavalry as they withdrew, and they lost more than half their numbers to my rifles. And now my elite infantry units are just going to shoot it out with these Red Bears for a while. Just see how that goes. Yeah, that didn't last long at all. So these guys are the last remaining line unit on this flank. And they're already down 75–80% there. So his line units are quickly falling apart against my more capable units. I did make a mistake here, unfortunately. I did not see these Yarikachi coming while I was watching the gunfight. So you can hear me giving them lots of add the double orders to try to get them to safety so these spears don't destroy them. And also now he's advancing some more of his melee troops just to try to drive my missiles back, I suppose, catch them in a big melee. Drago, see, has now won his fight over here, and he's starting to come over. There was a unit of Daikyu Samurai that my Yariki hit over there, that's why you see him running back. I didn't feel like my archer's getting shot in the butt. So now, by this time, I've realized that Drago's won his fight. He's making double time over here to try and bail out Bender, who's clearly on the back foot here against me. So I'm going to take out this unit of infantry with my cavalry, and you see now these guys are lining up facing into this valley to try to hold off Drago for as long as I can, while my elite force is coming up the other side to attempt to finish off Drago, or Bender, sorry. Now these units, these Katanakachi, did take out my Shinsengumi police force, but they're basically destroyed themselves, especially as my general and my Imperial infantry come up to shoot them in the butt and drive them off. So we traded those units for each other. Now, these Spear Levy can't seem to decide what to do. They're getting kind of shot up from my, looks like my general's bodyguard. And there's a large melee going here. The other 3 Katanakachi are going to attack my my Yariki over here, which is a mistake on my part. But now they're facing a concentrated gun volley from the United States Marines and the Imperial Guard Infantry. Now by this time Drago's into what will henceforth be known as the Valley of Tears. as these 2 units of infantry, now the other 3 units of infantry are all joined in together, just pouring fire on him as he tries to come over to help Bender out. And he had to know this was going to be ugly. And it's one of the reasons I actually accepted his friend request, is because I respected that he was coming over to bail his ally out of a sticky situation. These guys are just getting shredded. You will see some of these units, the Tetsuba Warrior Monk Hero and these Nodachi, are actually going to make it to my lines. They're badly wavering, and his whole army's so badly depleted, though there's not a whole lot he's going to be able to accomplish at this point. Best Bender has a few units of Katana Kachi over here left that are going to try to attack me in the rear. I did get this 1 unit of Red Bear Infantry turned around to try to hold them off, and I'm sending my some of my Yariki over to help as well. So, you know, a number of these units did engage. I still have my cavalry over here, though, so I still have my mobile force, but it doesn't matter. Drago's army suffers a mass rout, as Bender's does shortly afterward. Alright, so here on the battle results screen, saw the battle lasted exactly 10 minutes. Couldn't have done that if we tried. So anyway, my ally deployed the fewest number of troops. You saw he spent a lot of points on those heavy gunners and fire rockets and things like that. I actually had the second fewest, but I had a number of elite gun units, including those U.S. Marines and Imperial Guard infantry. Between Comrade Drago and Bass Benderboss, they outnumbered us quite a bit, by almost 1,000 men. And Drago defeated my ally Fairfin reasonably well, did quite a bit of damage, drove him off, but could not get over in time to help his ally out against me. You know, so we pocket the unit statistics and see where all the damage came from. Yeah, those Guard infantry and the U.S. Marines, sure enough, that's where those points came from. This Guard infantry unit actually didn't even lose any men, which is fairly incredible considering some of the firefights they were in. Really, the U.S. Marines, he might have intentionally been targeting my U.S. Marines to try to get them off the field. And the Tosa Riflemen, Morgan's rifles, despite taking 16 casualties or so in the first volley, actually did quite a bit of damage after that. Took very few losses. As I began paying attention to what they're doing, that's one of those skirmisher units, if you're not paying attention, you're not going to get the most out of their range advantage. And for Drago down here, let's look through his forces too. His 2 stars were the Nodachi Samurai and the Warrior Monk Hero. And other than that, pretty much everything traded 1 for 1 or worse. His big advantage over my ally Fairfin was that he deployed a lot more guys, and he had more melee troops. So he was able to just push in, and these Nodachi Samurai got a good charge off and really messed up those warrior monks and the missile troops. And the heavy gunners did alright for my ally, but the fire rockets were basically just a waste of Koku. Let's see if we can find him. Yeah, the fire rockets. That's a lot of points to spend on a unit that only does 30 kills. So in any case, good battle to everybody involved, especially Drago. It's the beginning of a long and interesting relationship. So in any case, please like, comment, subscribe. This is Southern Wolverine signing off.